Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fragrant Bunker. We got some Chanel breaking news in the territory and the realm of the Les Exclusifs. You know the Les Exclusifs, we got the 200 mils, we got the 75 mils, the eau de parfums, and then we also have the extraits. Here's an example. This is number 5. Where's the other one? Number 22. Empty bottle. But anyway, there's a new Les Exclusifs coming in 2024, baby, and we got some intel. First, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Push the join button next to the subscription button. Become a member today. Gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon. superdacob all spelled together there as well for extra perks. Thank you to my members and patrons who have already pledged. This video is being filmed live in front of a live virtual audience. I live stream several times a week on my main channel, so come join me there for the live chats. Hi, my co-chatters. So, here's where it's at, as they say. Listen, Linda, we got the deets. So I've been collecting intel for a while now, and it seems like the sales associates at Chanel are like adamant to share any information. Some of them even told me we had to sign non-disclosure agreements, NDAs. We're not allowed to tell anything. We can lose our job if we do. So like something has been brewing in the house of Chanel for a while now. Now, if you remember a couple of years ago when the last, like the newest as of now, Les Exclusifs fragrance was released, Le Lion de Chanel, we were in high pandemic times. So I think a lot of brands had to postpone their launches, releases. You know, it was a whole mess. Pardon me. Nobody knew how to do what and when to release what and how the distribution would work. So I take it with a pinch of salt or with a grain of salt, like how they, like the criticism that was happening around about the time when Le Lion was released. Because as you guys maybe remember, it was first released in the Middle East. And it was also said that Le Lion was catered and manufactured to cater to the Middle East, hence why the more strong smelling fragrance, although Chanel refused to work with oud, despite the fact that it was kind of a perfume targeted more to the Middle East, but they kind of worked with an overdose of labdanum. Gorgeous perfume, really. So it was first released in the Middle East, and then, gosh, half a year, almost a year later in the rest of the world, like it was a very, very strange strategy for releasing a perfume. And did Le Lion de Chanel sell well or not? I don't know. Debatable. You know, it's not like Chanel releases their numbers, but let's just say it's not one of their best selling in terms of smelling perfumes. It's not like immediately Chanel. For me, it is. And I adore Le Lion de Chanel. I really adore that perfume. I love it. I love it to bits. And I have several backup bottles of Le Lion. In like the closest to the first batches ever manufactured possible, right? I bought. And then nothing. You know, years passed by. And then a whisper arose that a new Les Exclusifs fragrance was supposed to be released, like in late 2022. Never happened. Then they said it was postponed to 2023. Oh, by the way, everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. So they postponed it to 2020. So it was 2022, didn't happen. Then they said 2023, you know, was going and happening, and months were passing and passing and passing. And towards, I want to say towards August, September, I received intel that the launch of the Les Exclusifs fragrance was postponed for yet another year. And the reason, the alleged reason being, at first I was told there was some issue with sourcing the materials, the raw materials needed for the perfume to produce it en masse. But I never really bought that story. because I received from another source other intel telling me that apparently the heads of at Chanel were not so certain about the name of the perfume. In other words, they were apparently and allegedly not so sure that the name of the perfume would sell. Which made me then think, hold on a minute. Are they not so sure that the perfume that they're developing is good enough? Because if you're not so sure about the name, maybe you're struggling to find a name that is going to sell the perfume for you. Are you not sure that the smell alone is enough for the perfume to be successful? Are you not sure in your product that you have to postpone it almost 2 years before you launch it? Sourcing issues, and yet you're releasing all your other perfumes still. Sourcing raw materials, really? And then another piece of intel arose out of the blue. And if you think about it, everything happens for a reason. And if you really put 2 and 2 together and you look at what Chanel was feeding us in terms of advertisement for the past 3 years now, especially around Christmas time, the holiday season, what was their leitmotif? What were they showing us? 3 years almost in a row. Preparing us psychologically, like really shrewd brand marketing, preparing us subconsciously for the launch of a perfume. What was it? Well, it was the Chanel No. 5 advertisement, video campaign, and not just video campaign, but also, all the freebies, the visual advertisements, the photos, especially in 2022. What was it? And then they repeated it in 2023. And we all thought, wait, why are they doing the same type of commercial again? Well, there was a reason, honey. Or so it would seem, allegedly. The repeating motif was the moon. There was a moon in the ad in 2022. There was a moon in the ad in 2023. The moon. So my intel tells me that the name of the perfume was supposed to be La Lune, or Lune, the moon in French. Like Chanel's moon, La Lune de Chanel, or just La Lune. But apparently, they were not so sure of the strength of that name. But they already have a perfume. They've already apparently developed the formula, but they don't have the name. So I thought to myself, well, okay, somebody leaked the name, the moon. Why isn't this perfume being released? Well, apparently it was produced and then not released, allegedly, because they were not sure about the name again. And I wonder why. It's interesting to have a perfume that smells of the moon. I personally would not mind a Chanel Les Exclusifs perfume called Moon, La Lune. Me too, Luke. Luke S. says, I actually like the name La Lune. Corey says they also have 2 camps going on. One group is pushing for using synthetics to make the final product less expensive and the margins better. And they have a group that are fighting it. Wow, Corey, where did you get this intel from? This is very interesting information. If this is true, if we can prove this, then we can definitely start talking about them watering down the perfumes in a bad way, because thus far all of their perfumes are impeccably gorgeous. So if they're trying to cheapen these perfumes to maximize profits. Oh, Corey says, I have little birdies. Well, then, yes, Richmond says, have you heard the rumors? Yes, I have heard the rumors of Olivier Polge leaving, but those have not been confirmed. So we're going to leave that for now out of this equation because, I mean, if the launch of this new Les Exclusifs perfume is connected to a potential leaving of Olivier Polge from Chanel, and I actually made a video about this, Rich Mitch, a couple of months ago, about the rumors of Olivier Polge leaving. Check that out on my channel as well, the video. Corey, yes, please message me the deets. Oh, I love when we do live streams like this because we get all this intel as we're talking. So La Lune was dropped. This is what I'm trying to let you know, guys. La Lune was dropped. Not as a perfume, but as a name, apparently. Then we had the whole shenanigan going on with Cristal. Is Cristal going to be discontinued or not? Will they source the materials or not? They were saying that, you know, Auvert for almost a year was gone. And they said that they had sourcing issues. But now all of the Cristal family of the three have returned. And apparently the name of La Lune has changed. But has the formula changed? Apparently not. And I also have intel on the formula. So, okay, yeah, you can message me on Insta. I'll wait for it. Then I hear intel saying that they have changed the name of La Lune to another name. But before I heard the second name, I received another bit of intel about the smell, like the family. And I kid you not, when I heard in which direction the perfume was going to go, I was shocked. First, over a year ago, I received intel that it was going to be something like a mix between Bel Respiro and Cristal. And I thought to myself, oh, they're going to go in the Chypre direction? That's amazing. I was so thrilled. Until about a month ago, I received other intel that told me that the perfume, and this is what really disappointed me, because if this is true, I'm really going to be very disappointed. The intel that I received about a month ago told me that everything alleged, and allegedly, of course, that the perfume would be in the cherry blossom family. And I loathe cherry blossom in perfumes, okay? I cannot stand cherry blossoms. I think it always smells like cheap shampoo to me. Terrible. So I was very disappointed. Yeah, Sakura. Kev says, Sakura gives me headaches. It also me, I cannot stand it in perfume form. It's vile. And I thought to myself, really? Is Chanel going to go in the Sakura, in the cherry blossom direction with a Les Exclusifs fragrance? Boy, talk about cheapening the brand. And then I thought to myself, maybe this was a misleading information because we also have not seen a new Les Eaux fragrance. And I thought to myself, Sakura is maybe more, you know, it's like better suited to a Les Eaux release. You know, because like they do their trips and travels like Paris, Edinburgh, Paris, Venice, Paris, Deauville, Paris, Riviera, Paris, Biarritz. Maybe they do Paris, Kyoto or Paris, Tokyo or something. And that sense, maybe a light cherry blossom fragrance would make sense, even though I would still not like it. But I'm like, you want to attribute an entire Les Exclusifs launch to a cherry blossom? Girl, please. No. The poverty. No. But yes, Kev, East Asian market driven. Rich Mitch, I completely agree with you. Cherry blossom in perfume, cherry in general in perfume smells a bit juvenile. It does. Very Bath and Body Works, yeah. Um, so, but yes, East Asian market, Japan, China, South Korea. I know cherry blossom is not in all. I know cherry blossom is first and foremost Japanese culture, but it has that Asian flair to it. So, but I think as a Les Eaux, it would make more sense than as a Les Exclusifs. Now, if I'm wrong with this intel, and if it's not a cherry blossom Les Exclusifs launch, but it is rather that mix Bel Respiro Cristal, and we're back in the Chypre game, then I'm back in the excited mode. But you haven't heard the second name. And when you hear the second name, you're also going to think, wait, the second name doesn't sound like something connected to cherry blossom, right? So apparently they were not happy with La Lune or Lune, moon, and apparently they switched it for, drum roll please, Comet, the comet or comet, celestial flying object, the comet by Chanel. I'm like, really? You're going to make a perfume called Comet smell like cherry blossom? Makes no sense. Something is wrong. I feel like something is terribly wrong here. Now, if we go back to the speculation that maybe Olivier Polge is leaving and there's a whole mess going on at Chanel, and on top of that, if you want to combine the fact, like Corey was saying, they might be fighting between one faction wanting more synthetics to maximize profits in the perfumes and the other faction fighting to maintain the good quality of perfumes. If that, combined with Olivier maybe leaving, combined with brand marketing not being sure which name of a perfume is going to sell more, you see what I mean? Like, if you combine all of these tragedies and conspiracy theories together, you ask yourself, well, where's the room left to develop a good quality perfume? Like, has anybody put any love into this perfume? Has anybody put any real passion and thought into this perfume? Or is this perfume just a labor of let's maximize profits? Because that's what I'm smelling now. Now, Chanel is being, of course, very secretive about all of this, but my worry is their secrecy. I'm fine with their secrecy, but when you keep postponing a release so much like they are, something is up. And something is going terribly wrong. Because the way that this launch is being treated and being postponed, and the names being changed and all the secrecy, it just seems like there's trouble. There's major trouble in paradise. Luke says, I was told back in November about Comet from my sales associate and that it was centered around heliotrope. You see what I mean? Okay, so now we have another added element. So Comet, and it's going to be heliotrope. I heard cherry blossom, but before that I heard a mix between Bel Respiro and Cristal, that would be the olfactive genre that it was going in. Luke S says, now I don't know what to believe. Luke, I don't either know what to believe. And I have not spoken out about this new Les Exclusifs launch for almost 2 years, even though I had a lot of intel. I respected Chanel. I respected, their wish to stay silent, but now it has come to a point where it's so ridiculous. And it's become so embarrassing, just the perception that we as clients have of how this new upcoming release is being treated, that I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to lay out the cards on the table and let's talk about it together in the live chats and see if we can puzzle the pieces together. Because quite frankly, I don't know what to think anymore. You know what I mean? It's just way, way, way too much. I'm trying to see... Corey, I did not get any message on Insta. So I don't know if you're still preparing the intel to send it to me or if you have already. And yes, Gloria, a price increase to boot. Of course, they're going to increase the price right around the time when they launched the new Les Exclusifs fragrance. So if their 200 ml Les Exclusifs in America are now $450 after tax, around about $500 for a 200 ml bottle, and $300 for the 75 ml bottle, plus tax comes up to what, like 320, 330, 310, 320, or no, 330. After the next price increase, what are we going to pay? 500 and 350 plus that 550 and 400? Like, what gives? You know what I mean? Anyway, I did not receive any message, Corey. Unless you didn't send, I don't know where you sent it. Did you? I'm checking on Dacob CC and also Super Dacob Backup. Dacob CC. Okay. Okay. All right. So, okay, I sent it to you. You need to respond. Accidentally hit send. Okay. So, Corey said event happened, drinks were being had. Corey does not drink alcohol, but the people involved were drinking alcohol, and they spilled the beans and said that they were talking about a reformulation of Chanel No. 5. That there's potentially one faction is pushing to reformulate Chanel No. 5 in more synthetics to maximize profits, and another faction is saying, no, don't cheapen the perfume. I mean, if they start cheapening Chanel No. 5, we will smell it. We will smell it. And we will talk about it. So Chanel, be careful. Because if you're going to start cheapening Chanel No. 5, we're done. Because that's the core of your legacy. You cannot cheapen Chanel No. 5. Zonzuet, Chanel. Zonzuet. Do not fuck with Chanel No. 5. Now, but prices are getting outrageous. So, in a nutshell, all the intel we have now is take it with a pinch of salt. The new Les Exclusifs is either going to be called La Lune or Comète or La Comète. It's going to smell either of Bel Respiro mixed with Cristal, if it's going to go into the cheaper direction. Other intel tells us it's going to smell like cherry blossom. Terrible. Possibility cherry blossom might be a new Les Eaux fragrance instead. But also intel now tells us, well, maybe it's going to be heliotrope based, the new Lune or Comète. Rumors have it that Olivier Polge might leave Chanel. We don't know if that's going to happen. Rumors have it that they want to cheapen the formulas. We don't know if that's going to happen. But what is happening for sure is that they have postponed the release of this perfume for over 2 years now. Something is wrong. And I think that they've waited way too long for this. And all of us are now so suspicious of what this thing, like what's going on that's wrong, that I don't know if we're going to like it. You know what I mean? I have the feeling if the brand itself is so insecure about its own product that they do not launch it and they keep postponing the launch, then how are we supposed to feel about it as a customer? If they're making us feel like they're so insecure, then of course they're not going to help us feel any better either, by the way that they're behaving and acting. Corey says they want to reformulate it to make it more marketable to a larger audience. I'd laugh if they just scrap the whole thing and they are just starting over. Oh my God, could you imagine? So that's the news. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. And this video, more than any other in particular, is really important for the comment section, because if you have some intel and some news to share it down below, or drop me an email at superdacob, all spelled together, superdacob@gmail.com. you know, if you wish to remain anonymous and you don't want to post a public comment under this video, you can send me an email with intel at superdacob@gmail.com. Let's get to the bottom of this mystery. If you know anything new about the new Les Exclusifs perfume or the new Les Eaux perfume or their new rumored male fragrance launch by Chanel, which, you know, it's been like over a decade since Blue was launched, and let's see what happens next. Thoughts and prayers down below. Thumb up this video if you liked it. Subscribe, and until next time, never forget to never give up on love. Love you loads. Bye. Mwah.